What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Focus on creating heaven, not focusing on all the hell. Hi, everyone. Yes, like the song says, hope you're good, hope you're well. Yeah, I'll get right to it. I wanted to make another video today in relation to people who are going to be working at home a lot at the moment, and the exercises I'm going to show you are probably a little more relevant as far as people who are working at home, because I assume working at home is going to afford you a little more freedom to kind of manipulate your schedule in a favorable way and take breaks when you need to. And this is also too just for people who have more time on their hands than normal, for people who might find themselves being more stationary than normal because, well, some of you really genuinely are on lockdown, and others just might not have much reason to leave the house at the moment. So either way, it's all good. Remember, this too shall pass. That's okay. All will be well, just a matter of time. So in the meantime, I wanted to share with you some things today which will really help shoulder health and your postural health as well. These movements can also be used as a wonderful warm-up to upper body workouts that you might be doing, or total body workouts, of which the upper body will be an inherent part. And honestly, they just feel good. So you can do these wherever, whenever. I'm going to show you two ways to approach the shoulder opening and kind of scapular strengthening, which really are the prime focuses of these two movements. Thoracic extension, or extending through your mid-back here, your T-spine. The T stands for thoracic, not to be confused with Jurassic. Yeah. I'm going a little stir crazy too. So, yeah. So there are some nice juicy benefits to these videos, or to these practices. And the first one is more so just purely what I would call a warm-up. Got my bow staff here from my karate days, and now I just use it more so as a dowel rod. A dowel rod can be purchased at your local hardware store, 12 or 13 bucks. Get a larger one, like 6 feet, just so you have more options. You can use the dowel rod in a lot of ways. And what else? Yeah, if you don't have a dowel rod, in some cases a broomstick would be great. So, without further ado, I'll show you this first exercise. I'll try and speak a little more loudly so that you can hear me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is what it will look like. I'm essentially going back and forth, like so, touching my torso, and again, touching my torso. So, one of the keys with this is to anchor your ribs and your spine by way of squeezing your glutes. And as you squeeze the glutes and perform this nice juicy opener, what that's going to prevent is this. And that motion is what we would call a flaring of your ribs. So you don't want, as you're going up and over, you don't want your ribs to be flaring, so as to accommodate, or actually really compensate for a lack of opening at your shoulders. Because that's why the body is going to try and sneak in that movement to make, it's a way to create more range. It's kind of artificial range though, so that this thing can move around your body. But the point is to open up your shoulders. So we squeeze the glutes. We're flexing through here. Nothing like a good tuchus flex. It's all about the tuchus, you know? It always comes back to that. So we squeeze here. I'm straightening my legs, so my quads are engaged as well. Squeezing the glutes. I got a little bit of tension through my abdominal wall. And what I will do here is I've found a width to my hands that's reasonable for my degree of shoulder mobility, and keeping those muscles flexed, abs, glutes, and quads. I'm just gently going back and forth, trying to nicely clear my head. I don't move my hands around as I'm going about this motion, and I don't lose the tension in the aforementioned muscles. I also don't want it to feel like an absolute breeze. So for me, if I was to go wider, as you can see, I'm just kind of breezing through the motion, and I'm not getting a whole lot out of it. I also don't want it to be I don't want it to be that difficult either. So there is a time to take this motion and really challenge how narrow you can get your hands. But if you're going to be using it as a warm-up, or something that you're going to do frequently throughout your days, you want, a moderate amount of tension in relation to the width of your hands. It shouldn't feel stressful. You should feel, a moderate challenge though. So what I would do with clients, and for those of you who are clients who are watching this, you'll be like, yep, I know this one. No, it will. I would do 10 forward and backs. So 10 of these guys. Trying to keep my arms straight, so I'm trying to lock at my elbow and just go over and back. So 10 of those guys, and then 10 of these. So I'm going around my body one way, all the way down, up and over, 10 in that direction. Then I would switch and do the other direction. And the same cues apply when I'm changing angles. My glutes are on so as to anchor my spine. My quads are flexed. I have some tension through my abdominal wall. I'm trying to create maximal range of motion. So I go down low instead of, a lot of people will do that when they begin. See how shallow the dowel rod is now? And now I'm not getting nearly the same amount of benefit that I otherwise would. So, you got 10 of these guys, and then 10 either way of the dowel rod rotations. Cool. So, these days, I would recommend trying that little trinity of dowel rod movements. Try them once every hour, because doing so, again, it really will help your posture. It's going to open up the pecs, and it's going to tighten up the scaps, or the muscles along your upper back, along your shoulder blades. And also, it's going to give you a little bit of thoracic extension. All of those three things get lost and or messed with excessively being positioned in this position. which is just, it's a problem of the modern world. It's a challenge that we all face. However, with a little bit of creativity and some drive and some interest and a willingness to change your patterns and be open to new things, solutions come in. They always do. But we have to ask for them. So, yeah, I hope you have fun with that practice. If you have any questions at all about it, let me know. And just be aware of the minutiae. Try to keep your elbows straight as they're moving around your body. Little tension in here, glutes on, quads on. Have fun and be safe.